Good morning, Don. Hey, so it's Saturday morning. I thought I'd put together some video for you. Hopefully 10-minute video, nothing longer. Something just real quick so you can get yourself started. So here's what you're going to want to have tool-wise. You're going to want to have a really bright one of these lamps so you can see what the heck you're doing underneath the hood. This is really important. This is a really main tool. This is a fingernail file. You can get these at Walmart and make sure it's metal. That's really important. This here, you don't have to have it. It's a spacing tool for the leaf switches inside of it. Some type of wire brush is going to be important. This is a really small one. You can go bigger size. Your standard screwdrivers, flathead, Phillips. I like to have these magnetized, and then anneal nose pliers. So those are the tools. So let's see what we're going to do here. All right, Don. Everybody's starting to wake up. So, so here's what you got here. So on your Gottlieb, which I believe is what you have, on your coin door, this first thing I would do is look at the coin door and look for that coil. So this one here, as you can tell, is burnt up. Normally when the paper's gone there, it should look something like this guy here if it actually still functions. And you can see that when I turn on the machine, it closes. There's this little bit of a closing gap there where it opens up and closes. So there's your coin lockout. This one actually works. This coin function works. And but like I said, that it's not important for that solenoid to work. What's important here is that there are some leaf switches here, and in essence, you can reach in there, and if you close them, that gives you a credit. And if it's open, it opens the credit. Yours already has 6 credits, so more than likely this is not the problem. So you can look at that, make sure they're open, make sure they're not trying to add coins or anything. So that would be the first thing I would look at. Alright, so then after that, you're going to have a lockdown bar up here more than likely. When you do that, that opens the lock bar. This is the lock bar. You can lift this off, and then the entire glass will slide out. Alright. Alright, Don, so here's what I've done here is I got my light attached to the side. I've lifted the hood. There's a little bar here that gets stuck in there. Like I said, if you want to just open it up temporarily, this is the way to do it. If not, you slide it forward, lean it back. Like I said, the guy on Pin Repair does an amazing job showing how all that works. So definitely suggest you looking into that. So this is what you'll probably be looking at inside your machine. Is you'll be looking at tons of wires, a bunch of relays, and the score motor. And a lot of times the score motor is part of the issues that guys run into. These contacts here get kind of corroded and everything else. So what I would do before you even turn on the machine is look on over here, and what you're looking for is kind of burnt relays. Look for paper burnt, and the two that are the majority of the problem is your tilt hold relay and your hold relay. These two here, because those, as soon as the machine turns on, those ones have to close to start a game. So those are important that those are functioning. So say for example, if you want to see what's going on with this, first thing is, let me back up, make sure all the machine's all cleaned out and looks good and there's no burnt wires. Next, look for the fuses. So look for each one of the fuses. You got slow blows. There's sometimes fuses up here in the playing field. There's fuses back over here. So lots of fuses. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fuses. So look around. Actually, this one does not have a fuse up here, but just kind of look around for that. All right. So if all the fuses look good and everything's all cleared out, then I would turn on the machine. So we're going to go ahead and turn this on. All right. And what you know you have credit on there right now. So I'd push the center button, just see what happens. Now when I push this one, this is what should happen. Oh. Now I got credit. Here we go. So score motor is going to cycle. Everything's resetting. This bank just reset, and everything's ready to go. All right. So that's what should happen. If you push yours, nothing happens. Here's the first thing I would do. Go ahead and grab the score motor and turn it counterclockwise. And what you're trying to do is kind of like get this to the flat spots here. If it's stuck on an upper spot, what it should do is cycle itself. But if it doesn't, that's okay. We'll figure that out in a second. It means you have a dirty contact here, more than likely. So you want to kind of move that through and get it to a flat spot there. So that's first thing. Second thing is if that's not working, what you can do is manually push some of these relays. So I got a hold relay. If this hold relay didn't go in, I would go ahead and take your finger and push it in. Okay. Let me show you kind of what that's like here. So when I turn on the machine, okay, nothing happens here. Okay, but I'm going to manually turn it on. So I'm going to push in this hold relay. Okay, so that one's on. All right, and I got this tilt hold. Okay, so that turns on my lights. All right, and then I got a start relay. All right, so I'm going to manually push my start relay. And that's starting up my machine. All right, so there's nothing wrong with actually pushing in these relays just to test things out. I got a control reset bank. All right, that resets everything. Bonus score. All right, so I'm pushing in these relays just to see. One thing I'm testing out is seeing if this coil's working or not. If it holds it in, you can feel the motor, this motor working. That means the thing's functioning. So that's a couple things you can do trying to get the thing to come to life. All right, and these are just things not really fixing your machine, but you're trying to figure out exactly what the problem of it is. All right. This guy here, you probably have one of these since it's a Gottlieb about the same year. These are a real pain in the butt, but after you get it working, it's not a big deal. And what you have to do is undo a thumb screw here, the entire assembly tilts up. I'm going to show you that in a second. All right. So before you start cleaning any of this stuff, you really want to turn off your machine. So take it from me. I've been shocked too many times. So I have went ahead and I brought up this bank. This is the bank, and it's doing different things on the playing field. Different banks do different things. This one is doing this is doing player 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's a reset bank relay. So last ball, game over. So actually there's a lot of important relays going on in this bank here. So when you're looking at these, you're looking at gaps, and here's how you clean these things. You just slide this in. You're trying to find the first thing is you can see what this relay is trying to do here. When this one closes, which I'm going to push this little spring in here, so you can see that when it does that, this one is opening the switch and this one's closing the switch. Alright, easier to see it live, but you can kind of see from the side there. So it's actually opening a switch and closing it. So what you want to look at is this actually closed before it opens, and is this one actually open before it closes? That's the first thing. Second thing is, if you feel like this is a problem, this relay here is a problem, say for example, I know my second player relay is not setting, or the whole bank isn't resetting, you want to look at these. And you slide in your tool here. I can't do it with one hand really well, but you're going to push on the underside and slide this back and forth. And I do it about 10 times and then go to the next one. Now, what I found is if I do all these, test all these out and do all this, what I need to do after I do that is spray it with contact cleaner. So don't use any WD-40, no lubricants like that. Dry alcohol, wipe it clean, done. So don't lubricate any of these because then it causes more of a problem. So, all right. So right now I got this thing pivoted up. When you pivot this down, it has to go back into these nice and tight, or this thing will not function correctly. So it's got to go down there and they're tight, and I'll do that in just a second. All right, Don. Hey, now just to let you know something here, when you're looking through here, I always look at these top ones. These top ones are normally your high functioning ones, and just make sure when you're just looking at this by itself, just make sure, and you understand what it's trying to do. This is trying to open this gap, this is trying to close this gap, and just kind of watch it as it turns around. You don't need a schematic really to understand exactly what its function is trying to be. But this is really the brains of the entire thing. It has to go around, make sure everything's cycled right, make sure the ball's out of the chutes. It's got to do everything. And like I said, this is 99% of the time, this is part of the problem. The other problem is, like I said, the hold relays, if they're bad or if they're not gapped right, that's causing the issue too. So those are the two things I would attack. The other thing I would definitely look at is these Jones plugs, which this one's normally not a problem up on the playing field, but the ones that connect the playing field and the ones that go up to the back box. So what you do is you want to slowly reach up and pull each side, and I take that wire brush and I just go back and forth on this side, back and forth on this side, and then I go on the inside. I blow it out using my contact cleaner, my electrical cleaner, and then put it back in. So you notice there's only one way these go in. If you turn around, it won't fit in because of this metal bar here. It keeps people from me from putting things in backwards. So, but that's pretty well all you got to do on that. You can just push it in really snug. And that's another thing I would definitely attack and look at, because if those aren't making the contact, then it's not going to work. So, all right. Hey, I'm going to wrap this video up. Other than that, you really just need to watch the videos. Go to Pin Repair. That guy is phenomenal. That's where I learned everything. And I need to make a donation to that guy because everything he's taught. But yeah, don't be intimidated. You see all this stuff and you're like, holy cow, but it really, everything, if it's all wired right, it should all function right, and you'll be fine. All right, good luck. Hey Don, I just want to tell you one more thing. So behind here, you got a multiplayer. There's a lot of score reels going around in there, and the good news is yours is all set to 0, so more than likely you're not having problems with it. But as you play the game, if you hear buzzing and someone's having a hard time, definitely shut off the machine right away and pull out that reel and look at it, clean it out. You know, some guys are really big into you got to take the whole thing apart. I don't think that's necessary. I just spray with alcohol, run it through its cycle manually, and tighten up the spring sometimes. And then the other thing I was going to show you is you have one just like this. So this is kind of cool. This is how this works. When you push the credit button, there's the credit. Kind of neat. And then when you play a credit, changes it there. So now I'm at 3, 4. So I'm adding credits to the machine. Or not adding credits, I'm adding players to the machine, so it goes down. But it's kind of neat just how the whole thing works. So I like it. Some guys don't, but I think it's pretty cool. So that little unit there, really easy to clean off. It's not a big deal. It's in the back. So a lot of things just manually move and just kind of study it and figure out what it's supposed to be doing. Like I do, like I said, I get a big bottle of alcohol and spray it down, go through the cycles, blow it out. It's all good.